Entrepreneur entity. Come on, give him a hand clap. Come on, let's get excited. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to share some good news.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? Y'all doing all right?
No.
I know it's raining outside. I know it's Monday. Some of us just went back to work. Some of us started our week and we ready for Friday again, right? I understand. I get Monday blues too. But you know what I do on Mondays? I take that day off. Because would you believe that 80% of all heart attacks happen on Monday?
My Lord.
Can you guess why?
Stress about going to work.
The stress of going to that job again.
All right.
So I think that what the Creator's put on my heart to give us today, I think it's going to be a blessing to us all. I just want to begin by saying, in the name of the everlasting Father, He that causes all that exists to exist, He that is self-existent, He who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, He who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or the indigenous people of Africa as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews is Ansof, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians is Lord God and Jehovah, and among the Muslim and the Islamic world is Allah, the one God. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one Almighty God, and it is to Him whom I give reverence, and to whom I submit. I greet you, my brothers and sisters, in the ancient but yet holy words of peace, which are Hotep,
Maya Hotep.
Shalom,
Shalom Alaikum.
Assalamu Alaikum,
Walaikum Salam, sir.
Baragani,
Jema Satya Bargani.
Alafia,
Alafia Duque.
and Ashe.
Ashe.
And if you come from 79th Street, the humble part of Ashland, what's up? I'd like to begin by saying I am a member or a minister in the youth department of the Temple of Mercy Association, under the leadership and guidance of Minister Raheem Kasset-Atta, who is our co-chair of the board of directors. The Temple of Mercy Association, as an entity, all of our members are members of the UAPA organization. In the Temple of Mercy Association, we believe in three things: health, wealth, and knowledge of self. And so when we met Dr. Evans some 20 plus years ago, it was very easy for us to marry Dr. Webb Evans' organization, because he was talking about everything we had been talking about and had been talking about it for so long. And recognizing him all the time, just everywhere you went, you see this old man with this kufi hat on, and he would always be passing something out. And he'd always have a sheet of paper stuck to him, right? And so we kind of thought something was wrong with him, but he was marketing. He was making sure you knew that sheet of paper said, buy black, buy black, buy black. Something so simple, but yet so difficult to do at the same time. My topic today is how to train up children in this world that we live in today to become entrepreneurs and CEOs. In the 60s, after the Great Depression, would y'all agree that you probably can go out and find a job, and you probably worked that job for about 40 years, right? You was able to go to Ford Motor Company, you was able to work in the factories, and there wasn't a lot of technology at that time, so the job had about a 40-year lifespan, right? So you worked 40 hours a week for 40 years, and when you got to retirement, they only gave you 40% of your check.
Turn the volume up.
Right? You want me to talk louder? You can't hear me?
Oh, thank you.
Is that better? I get real loud. That is my very white voice too. But we worked 40 years, 40 hours a week for 40 years, and we got to retirement, and we retired on 40% of our income. Well, I want y'all to know that today, because of technology, the average lifespan of a job is only 4 to 6 years. They're only being designed for 4 to 6 years. So what does that mean? That means that everything that you used to get from a job in the form of something called benefits is gone. Would y'all agree that Social Security might not be around for the next generation?
Amen.
Would y'all agree that most companies aren't offering 401ks, pension programs, or any type of retirement supplements? Would y'all agree? Would y'all agree that they're not offering any health insurance? Right? So these are things that people have to kind of get on their own, right? But one of the things that I've noticed about wealthy people and all the wealthy people I study, and I studied this guy named Warren Buffett. Y'all familiar with Warren Buffett?
Oh, yeah.
Do y'all know what Warren Buffett's number one asset is? His number one asset is called Berkshire Hathaway. It is an insurance conglomerate. Warren Buffett owns every number one insurance company in the United States of America. That's how he funds every other business entity that he does. Because something about insurance and something about investments creates leverage for people to be able to do some other things that they like to do in life. Right? And so it came to me when I was looking past the Chisholm for my business. Amen. Because all my life, I've been training other people to be in business. I've been training other people to become salesmen. I've been training other people how to fish for themselves. Because I was taught that at a very early age when I wanted my first pair of Air Jordans. And my mama looked at me and told me I was crazy. There's no way I'm paying $65 for a pair of gym shoes. We going to Jewel's on 81st and Ashland. We get up to that line. You're going to get that $5.99 pair of Nikes, or we can go to Payless and get you a pair of Pro Wings, and I'll buy you some fries to go with them. For $5.99. I wanted them Air Jordans. So I met a gentleman that said, if you come to me to the Forest Reserve and you blow up all these balloons, every time you sell one of them for $5, I'm going to give you 2. The other kids didn't understand why I was so excited. And why they were just detrimented by somebody saying, no, I don't have no money, I don't want that. I was excited. I mean, I sold everybody in the park until I got my shoes and my jogging suit. And so from that point on, I discovered something. I don't have to ask my mother for money no more.
Amen.
Right? My mama can say no all she wants to. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to cut some grass. I'm going to rake some leaves. I'm going to climb up somebody's side of their house and clean out the gutter. I'm going to clean out the basement. Whatever else somebody don't like doing, I'm going to do. I'm going to go over my friend's house. I'm going to do their chores. I'm going to wash their dishes. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to be able to take care of myself.
Amen.
And so as a young man, that was a very, very exciting experience for me. And Pastor Chisholm, when I started looking around, one of the things that we always talk about is how to sustain black businesses, right? And I believe the number one reason that we can't sustain black businesses is because we haven't been taught one thing, and that's how money works.
All right.
There's only 2 things you get in life that come without instructions. And y'all tell me if y'all agree. Children and money. Everything else you get come with instructions. You buy a car, you get an instruction manual. You get a refrigerator, come with an instruction manual. You get your first job, when you get that paycheck, it don't come with an instruction manual. And I don't know about y'all, but when I got my first real job outside of making cash money, I was a little upset because somebody told me I had inherited an uncle named Sam. And I was a little upset because none of my uncles were named Sam. I had an Uncle Eugene and an Uncle Charles. I don't know who Uncle Sam is, where the rest of my check. Then they told me about somebody called the EIC somebody. I still ain't figured out who that 3-letter game is. They took some more of my money out of my check. So I figured out real quick, I'm not working for these checks because I can't determine how much money I'm going to get because I don't know how much this uncle that I ain't never met is going to take out of my check. And I don't know who his sister is, EIC somebody, going to take money out of my check. So I got real passionate about knowing about money and learning about what to do with your money because money can be given some instructions that will be very fruitful to you in your life. And every time we talk about anything meaningful that we want to do in the community, it's always centered around money. So I was pondering on some things a couple of weeks ago and the Spirit hit me.
All right.
You know, there's about 315,000 financial advisors in the U.S. Only 8% of them are African American.
Wow.
The average age of a financial advisor is 56. And 52% of them are white men. So if we're talking about financial literacy and financial education, do you all think a 56-year-old white man is going to come into our neighborhood and teach us about finances?
No.
I remember back in the day when I was growing up, he used to come by grandma's house with a bucket of chicken to collect the insurance premium, but they don't do that no more.
Amen.
So we don't get no type of financial education. We don't understand the value of our money. And we don't understand that if we don't equip the next generation and they don't understand the value of money, then how are they going to make it? How are they going to get to something called retirement? It is a blessing that I have parents that plan for retirement, and I'm not in a situation like most of my friends trying to take care of my children and my parents at the same time while living paycheck to paycheck. Always more month than money, right?
Amen.
That's a blessing. Because there are so many people that is not in that situation. Do you all know the study said that 95% of people, when they get to retirement age, are going to be dependent on the government, friends, and family to take care of them? That's some real stuff. And I just discovered that it doesn't really have to be that way. You know, there are some fundamental financial principles that we can learn, that we can teach these babies, that we can put them so far ahead of the game that they don't have to worry about retirement. If you train your children to be entrepreneurs, man, listen, Garnett said it best. Nobody tells a child no. If you got it, you're going to support that child.
Amen.
The gentleman who founded World's Famous Chocolate knew that. That's why his business makes $48 million a year. The Girl Scout cookies, the person who makes them cookies, they